Welcome to Sebring International Raceway, the spiritual home of American sports car racing and the host of the United States' first ever Grand Prix. But who will conquer the bumps of Sebrings today? It's time for Grand Prix Legends live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Peter Mackay and I am privileged to be joined in the booth by the better half of Double Scotch, Ryan Walker. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Ambrose, using camera angles perfected by Dougie Beard. Now, Sebring is one of the most iconic venues in all of motorsport, and here is our Global Sim Racing channel track guide to tell you a bit more about it.
Welcome to Sebring International Raceway. Home to the 12 Hours of Sebring, one of the most grueling tests in endurance racing, this is a track which has earned a fearsome reputation among drivers. The circuit itself is located on the southeastern edge of the city of Sebring, Florida, and was built out of Hendricks Army Airfield shortly after World War II. 3 layouts are currently in use, ranging from 1.7 to 3.7 miles in length. The longest course, which is perhaps the most well known with it being the one used for the famed endurance race, shockingly still contains portions of the original airfield surface. It's this aspect which has become a signature feature of the track, making it extremely bumpy for racing. Sunset Bend in particular nearly shakes cars apart while they attempt to navigate the high-speed 180-degree corner. As you'd expect for the side of an airfield, there's nearly no elevation change over the course of a lap, but many of the curves are dramatically tall and unforgiving, daring drivers to glance them yet not hit them directly. Thankfully, places to pass are plentiful, including spots like the Hairpin and Cunningham. However, the many fast, sweeping turns creates a dilemma for car setup, since a vehicle that's made too stiff could wind up bottoming out on the onerous bumps. In the end, if you have the wherewithal to withstand the track's rough nature, you're likely to fare well. And since Florida fans almost always show up in huge numbers to witness this test of car and driver, you'll have plenty to impress at this legendary North American road course.
So there you are, a little bit more about this fantastic venue here in Florida in the United States. Ryan, it's a pleasure to have you back in the commentary box once again for this penultimate round of the Grand Prix Legends season. Now, Sebring has some amazing quirks to it. Why don't you tell our viewers a bit more about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Sebring is a fantastic track. It's, as we know, it's, it hosts 12 Hours of Sebring in real life, and also the iRacing version of the 12 Hours of Sebring. The track was first opened in 1950, and the track has hosted a whole range of different series, from the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship to the World Endurance Championship and the 1,000 mile race that took place last year. And the year before, I believe, and it's hosted some club series as well, such as the SCCA and the NASA series as well. And today it will be host to round, or the penultimate round of the Grand Prix Legends series. The track has got 17 turns. Today we'll be using the international layout, and it is 3.7 miles in length, and passing places are going to be possibly down into turn 1, and also heading down to the turn 7, which is a hairpin. And also, probably the best opportunity is that back straight, the Omen straight, heading down to the final corner. That is turn 17 and the famous Sunset Bend.
Yeah, the Sunset Bend, the corner that seems impossible to get right, or the corner of 1,000 lines. It's so tricky to get around there, and well, you couldn't find a car more tricky to do it than this Lotus 49. Let's have a look at the championship standings and see how things stand. It really is the champion-elect, Mick Claridge, at the moment, still maintaining a 100% victory record from the races he has attended. Absolutely astounding. Rob Olenek is sitting in second, 45 points back, with Topi Kortenemi into 3 figures in the gap, 108 points back from Claridge. Bill Tyler sits in 4th, and Ovi Tringerade is 5th. Ryan, how are the F2s looking?
Yep, the F2 Championship is pretty much a 2-horse race as we come down to the final 2 rounds of the season. And Chris Hendler had a great result at Watkins Glen last week. He took advantage of Andre Schumacher's was a mess up at Watkins Glen, and he's leading that championship, but Andre Schumacher is only 15 points back and technically can still take this championship, but he has to finish in front of Hengler, with the top three being rounded out by Michael Cook and then Manuel Pereira from France in fourth, and rounding out the top five is John Olsen from the United States.
So let's finally have a look at the Nations Cup. The United Kingdom leading the United States by just 33 points, so a little bit closer there in the Nations Cup, with Finland currently sitting third, Germany fourth, and France in fifth. Let's have a little look at the finer details of the race today here in the Grand Prix Legends series. We are, as we said, at the penultimate round of the championship, the final round of the season next week as well. 17 laps here from a standing start at Sebring, so a pretty long way around here, proper Grand Prix distance, and as always an open setup for the drivers, so they have a complete freedom on how they wish to set the car up, and with this fickle Grand Prix machine, that is mighty important. So at the moment the drivers are out on circuit laying down their qualifying times, and nice to see we've got Michel Dudignon back to join us this week, Ryan.
Yeah, it's good to see him back, and I was speaking to Mick Claridge as well, and he did say that Michel was planning to race, so it's good to see him out here today. And maybe with Michel not being in the championship contention, he can maybe just get in there and maybe just ruffle up a few feathers, if you like, and just kind of because he's got nothing to lose, so he doesn't need to hang back.
No, definitely not. Yeah, we'll see what Michel can do. He's shown flashes of brilliant pace when he has joined us here in the Grand Prix Legends series. But let's get Michel over the line and see what lap time he can set. A 1:57.374 for Michel, which will put him... I kind of lost him on the timing screen. Let's see what Mick Claridge can do at 1:56.391 for Mick, which puts him pole.
Yeah, that was a good lap by Mick. He managed to take the pole position, and Topi Cortinemi in second as Antonio Rees comes across the line and he finishes his lap, but it's not a good lap, but he's still got another opportunity to improve, as Xavier Sanchez is coming round the final corner now, and it looks like he'll probably do, I'm guessing, a 1:58 as he comes across the line, a 59 even, a 59.2, so that puts him in 10th place at the moment.
So we're going to look at how Eugenie Massa, great view here of the challenges of Sunset Bend and the bumps, incredibly bumpy there. You can see the suspension having to work so hard. You have to set it up a little bit softer and maybe run the ride height a little bit higher as well, perhaps, is to try and keep it calm over those bumps. But a 2:02 for Eugenie Massa. What can Laust Olsen do? Tell you what, it has the circuit here has got bumpier and bumpier over the time, Ryan. But can you imagine that this was actually a World War II airfield as well? They had a B-17 Flying Fortress fleet here, and don't know if I'd want to land a plane on a track as bumpy as this.
Yeah, absolutely not. And that's another thing I forgot to mention at the start of the broadcast was Sebring. It's the track. It's still being raced in its original state, so it's not been retarmacked, it's not been changed, and what you see on the screen right now is what the drivers race on in real life.
Indeed it is, yeah, one of the most iconic venues, home of the 12 Hours of Sebring, one of the proper classics amongst Daytona and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So Mick Claridge sitting on pole position right now. Obi Trengery just 58 thousandths of a second behind. But what can Rob Olenek do in the number 3? He's got a tiger print on his car. Has he got a tiger in his tank? Up to the line he goes, 1:56.6. No, that will not do it. But puts Olenek to 5th.
Antonio Rees coming across the line now, and he improves a 58.2, and that puts him into the top 10 in 9th place. So a good second lap from Antonio. Let's
see what Chris Murakami can do. Oh, well, we've just, I think Chris has maybe done his 2 laps as well. So yes, he has. So he is in the 13th position. That's the best he will be able to do. Now, can Eugenie Massa improve on his time? 2:02 the first time around, which did not count, so must have stretched over track limits, and he's got a bit of damage on the front of that car, so that might give us a clue of what happened to Eugenio. But over he comes, a 201.376. Now, does this one count? Doesn't appear so. So Jim McGill now coming to the end here. The Honey Monster, Jim McGill. You'll see, I wonder if he's got his Honey livery on today. He certainly runs it on his Audi 90 GTO in the Camel GT series, which we broadcast here on the Global Sim Racing channel. A 2-minute .1 for Jim, and that will put him 23rd on the grid. That looks like we've got all of our drivers completed their qualifying times now, so let's have a look and see how they line up for this Grand Prix here at Sebring International Raceway. Starting on pole position will be the champion-elect Mick Claridge by just under a tenth of a second from Ovi Trengarade. Can this be the day where Trengarade topples Claridge? Row 2 will see Topi Cortinemi and Michel Dudignon. Row 3 will be Rob Olenek and Bill Tyler. Row 4 sees Michael Cook and Gary Teal. And row 5 is Antonio Reis and Xavier Sanchez.
Starting in 11th is Yuri Geisen, so it's good to see him back on track. Andrew Schumacher, one of the F2 Championship contenders, in 12th, with Chris Marikami 13th, Chris Henler in 14th, with Yanni Lehman in 15th, John Olsen 16th, 17th Bruce Nelson, 18th Klaus Olsen, Robert Plumley 19th, and 20th is Emmanuel Pereira.
Starting 21st on the grid will be Colin Bentley alongside Terry Worth. Row 12 sees Jim McGill and Michael Griesinger. Row 13 will be Dave Cohen and Matthew Maudsley. And finally Peter Jovski, Andrew Eng, Hideki Kavisto and Roland Wallbank round out the top 30.
Starting in 31st is Randy Hoff, with 32nd going to Steve O'Malley, 33rd is Cesare Piccolo, Jeff Mortimer, 34th and Robin Pawlowski 35th, Eugenio Masters 36th, 37th Gary Anderson, Max Riley 38th, and rounding out the grid is the famous man himself, Robert Backroad Reynolds.
So 39 cars here, a big grid here at Sebring International Raceway. You can see the field gathering up, ready to go. I love how that this is a slightly older scan of the Sebring International Raceway. So you can see the Paynos logo there on the start-finish line. Of course, Dr. Don Paynos, who gave so much to the sport of sports car racing, and did so with a fortune earned by inventing the nicotine patch, believe it or not, but gave an awful lot to the sport. And that's something I haven't seen for quite some time, them wrapping around the final corner, but we're ready to go. We are racing here at Sebring for the penultimate round of the Grand Prix Legends Championship. Mick Claridge gets away pretty clean, but is he going to be picked into turn 1? No. Swoops round confidently, and Mick Claridge hits the front early.
Yeah, good start by Claridge as they head down to turn 2 and turn 3 and turn 4, and this is a tricky section to get through when you've got a load of cars coming through, but it looks like everyone's being sensible at the moment, and so far so good, and someone gets a bit sketchy in the background there, but they're heading down to the hairpin.
Yep, down they go through Gurney Bend, down towards the hairpin turn, and then they'll head up the way towards the Fangio chicane and Cunningham corner. Now there's a very long braking zone in these cars, so opportunities to overtake, but also opportunities to get involved in the tangle, but the drivers get through relatively clean and safe. Over towards Cunningham corner they go now, a really tricky right-hander, and then you've got a switch left, then right here at Collier, and then up to Tower turn, a very tricky cambered corner, right-hander through here, where you can see you're really having to get the car to change direction a lot. And there's one thing these cars don't appear to like doing, Ryan, is change direction very quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing with this car as well. You can't be, it's not like a downforce car, you can't really like manhandle it if you like. You've got to be really smooth and precise and be really smooth with your inputs, but at the moment, Mick Claridge is having a great first lap at the moment, heading down the Ulman Straight. He's managed to build up a bit of a gap to Ovi Trengrade, who's got a bit of a trend starting to form.
He does indeed, yeah. Mick Claridge has just been imperious over the last few rounds, particularly on cold tyres. Amazing how easy he's able to just settle into such a quick pace. He's got a big lock-up there from Dudignon in the number 1 car, and that's he's now battling with Cortinemi. Traingrade has dropped back to 4th. Rob Olenek still in 5th, having qualified there. And massive incident with Bill Tyler. Yuri Gixon's in there as well. Andrew Schumacher. Well, I think Andrew Schumacher made contact, but I think he's got away clean through that. But a massive pile up there, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. The person that benefited from that, though, is the F2 Championship leader, Chris Henler. He managed to get through that.
Oh my word, that's a violent accident. Oh, goodness. Yuri Geisen on his... Well, that's a rude awakening to his return to the Lotus 49. Wow. Back to the front then, or should I say back to the front of the best of the rest. Michel Dudignon running in 2nd position, now 2.3 seconds back from Mick Claridge, who is checking out early. Dudignon followed by Cortinemi, Traingrade, Olenek. So this is the cream of the crop in the Grand Prix Legends series, but we know that Mick Claridge has had a dominant season, but I don't think we've seen him check out so quickly, Ryan.
Yeah, normally it takes it's top of the Cortinemi, gets a bit sideways there and cuts the grass, so it might be a slowdown. But Mick Claridge is just pretty much checking out really fast, and it normally takes him a few laps to get in the zone and pull away, but at the moment these guys scampering away behind him is just allowing him to pull away, build up a bit of a gap and just maintain it. But that's pretty much what we expect from that kind of a championship winning performance, you could say.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course if he were to cross the line in the lead today, that would be his... Now we've got a car going very, very slow on the back straight there, but we will come back to it. Oh, now isn't there a better combination than Sebring and Cosworth DFV, Cam? Absolutely fantastic, and actually from looking from the back of Mick Claridge's Lotus 49 there, you can see just how much of a gap he's accumulated. A 156.281 there. Sorry, 156.8, my apologies. Absolutely exceptional pace.
Yeah, absolutely. This battle for second is still going between Dudignon, Cortinemi and Traingrade and Rob Olenek, and I'm surprised that Rob Olenek's this far back. Normally he's kept at the front of our pack and starting to go away as riding on board with Olenek, and I think he needs to get by these guys as quickly as possible to try and stay in touch with the Claridge in the championship. But if he finishes here where he is at the moment, he gets a bit sideways heading down to the hairpin.
That's a very good demonstration and exhibition there of just how hard these cars are to drive, even on what is meant to be a straight, where in a GT car you could take one hand off the wheel and you'd be fine. Not so in the Lotus 49. You're fighting it even in a straight line, and you can just see the body language of these cars. You can see the front nose dipping into almost hitting the ground under braking, and then it squawks under acceleration, pitches in the turns. It is a properly expressive car to watch. It's almost like watching a four-wheeled motorcycle. It's got so much body language. Absolutely incredible to watch. But Mick Claridge still breaking that gap up, and Dudignon's actually broken away from Cortinemi.
Yeah, absolutely. That looks like it's a battle between Traingrade and Olenek now, and Olenek's trying to make a move up the inside. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can.
Yep, good move there at Le Mans curve, back onto the Ullman straight. Named after Alec Ullman, who was one of the pioneers of the Sebring 12-hour race and really brought top-level sports car racing to the United States via Sebring, and it has been an absolutely integral part of the sport ever since. So let's get a look at the lap times. 156.8 for Mick Claridge. What can Dudignon do? 157.0, so that gap is still stretching out, now up to 3 seconds, and Cortinemi. Oh, and look at this. This is a battle we've seen many times, hasn't it been, Ryan? This has kind of been the battle when Claridge hasn't been here. Oh, Topi Cortinemi gets it full sideways.
Traingrade.
Oh, Obi gets it full sideways, my apologies. Obi Traingrade gets it full sideways, and Rob Olenek just taking a little bit of a time there to say, oh, just calm down there.
Yeah, that was a good save by Trengrid. He managed to hold it well, and Rob Olenek, it looks like he's trying to make a move on the outside, maybe trying to sell over Trengrid the dummy and try and do a switchback, but can't get the move done.
No, not quite, but maybe that little slide there from Ovi Trengrid maybe just caught Rob Olenek's attention, but here we're going to have a little lunge there down into Cunningham Corner. That would have been a bold one, but tucks in behind. I think coming out of Le Mans, if you can get the Le Mans curve onto the Almond Straight at the back of the circuit, if you can get that run right, you can set up that move into Sunset.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the exit of that twisted section there, heading onto the back straight, the Almond Straight, I think if you can get the exit perfect or nail it pretty much, you can get a great run down the road. Someone's off. That's Michel Dunignon.
So Michel Dunignon has hit problems and he is off the circuit in quite a big way. I don't know if he's made contact with anything, but let's have a look and see. Coming into the Le Mans section, whoa, just loses it on the way in, and he nearly caught it and it just snapped on him and gets it back into first gear and gets going again, but that loses him a lot of time, and that has made Mick Claridge's job at the front that little bit easier. And just as we say that, a 156.7 from Mick, and already with just 5 laps down, nearly a 5-second advantage.
Yep, and here in the midfield as well, we've got a battle for P14 going on at the moment between John Ulster and Roman Pawlowski. And also in this pack as well, you've got the F2 Championship leader Chris Henler in that pack. So Henler's just he's not close to the top 10, but he's just keeping out of trouble and doing that thing that he needs to do to win championships. Actually, as I say that, he runs wide in turn 1.
Yeah, this is a bit of survival here for Chris Hengler, and keep those points tracking up. Chris Hengler in 14th position right now as it stands. But Andre Schumacher, I tell you what, Ryan, Andre Schumacher was very, very fortunate to get through that big wreck on the front straight, because I think it was Yuri Geisen's car bounced right in front of him, and actually looked like he had made contact, but as you can see, there's no this just makes a little mistake there. There's no damage on the front of the car, miraculously. So that's but as we saw last week at Watkins Glen, Andrew Schumacher drew a little bit of luck because he was ploughed off the circuit and out of the race in pretty unceremonious fashion last week.
Yeah, absolutely. As this battle for 5th place is going on at the moment as well between Michael Cook, who took his first podium in the series at Watkins Glen last week after a terrific drive, but Bill Tyler's right behind him with Antonio Ruiz and the recovering Michel Dunignon and waiting in the wings as well.
Yeah, and we know that Michel's got a wee bit of a pace advantage on these guys, and as they come down the Almond Straight side by side, Michel Dunignon has the inside line a little bit later on the brakes. Now can he seal up the move, and locks up big style, and Bill Tyler nearly runs into the back, nearly gets the Grand Prix Legends COVID test there, but and snaps into the wall and he's off. Oh my word, that's a big one. And Andrew Schumacher, again, the man with 9 lives, just about avoids it.
Oh, that was so unlucky for Bill Tyler. I think he got a great exit and just about got the run on there, Michel, but I think he might have just, I don't know if he clipped that wall or if he might have just clipped that grass, but just looking now and he clipped the grass. That was so unfortunate.
Oh, that's so easy to do when you just, that artificial grass on the outside there, it's like glass, it's so slippy. So, we've got a 3-car battle for 2nd position. Topi Kortenemi, Ovi Trengrid and Rob Olenek. So Olenek has not been able to get by Trengrid, and they have just reeled in Kortenemi in 2nd a bit. And the gap to Mick Claridge currently sitting about what it was a couple of laps ago, still around the 5-second mark.
Yep, it looks like Clad is just maintaining that gap now and just not pushing too hard or over-driving. He's just doing what he needs to do. But still, I'm still looking at the battle for 5th place, and Michael Cook is under pressure from Dunignon, and it's so unfortunate as Cook's under pressure from Dunignon and Antonio Ruiz right on board with Dunignon as well, and I think Dunignon, if he gets a great exit onto the back straight, I think he could get a run heading down to turn 17.
Yeah, let's see what Dunignon can do. Very much on the recovery, but he's kind of been a little bit of as you can see. It shows you just how hard to handle this car can actually be. It just wants to break away from you all the time. It's always on a knife edge. Into the draft now. Michael Cook in front, riding on board with Michel Dunio on the shoulder cam. And into Sunset we go. But I suppose normally in certain cars you can stuff it up the inside there, but probably not in the Lotus 49 on second reflection.
Yeah, just watching the onboard of Michel as well. He's absolutely wrestling this car in turn 17, and it's just the bumpy nature of the truck. The battle for second place between Ovi Trengrade and Torpid Cortinemi is going on as well. And it looks like Cortinemi is getting closer. I think he might try and make a move down at the hairpin, I should say.
So Trengrade has got by Topi Cortinemi, who was in second, so will Rob Olenek be able to move through as well? Olenek, if he wants to challenge his big rival Obi Trengrade, he will need to make a move soon, it would appear, as they break into the hairpin there. Now, my favourite story of the hairpin was back in 1957, as Stirling Moss actually, on his way to winning the 12 Hours of Sebring, actually slowed down on one lap, and a photographer handed him a Coca-Cola, a bottle of Coca-Cola, and he finished it on the preceding lap. And then once he was finished with it, he slowed down again at the hairpin and threw it at the photographer.
I bet that was amusing. Hopefully the photographer never got hit in the head with it.
No, I think he was paying attention by the sounds of it, but those were the days, as they say. No time to do that now in modern day sports car racing. Unless there was a yellow, then maybe you could open the door of one of the prototypes and someone could try and throw a bottle in. That would make a good game actually for the spectators.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it? Excuse me. Is it? Is Trengrade still on the presser from Cortinemi and Rob Olenek as well, and you know how much of a race over Trengrade likes to make of it. He doesn't like to pull away. Sometimes he'll try and slow down and allow people to close back up if you like, and just have a bit of fun.
Yeah, that is true. They do like a bit of a battle, these guys. They race every week together here in the Grand Prix Legends series. So we're going to take a little bit further back in the pack now, and oh my word, look at this. 14th position, the 13 car of Snelson. He is very much the diesel locomotive in this train, and there's a whole expressway of Lotus 49 behind him. Terry Worth in there as well, in the classic Team Lotus colours as well. John Olsen, Colin Bentley, Jim McGill, the Honey Monster in there too, Ryan.
Yeah, it's good to see Jim back on track as well. He's raced in the series in the past, and it's good to see him here today. I do like his liveries. They do look nice and they look simple. But probably my favourite livery from him is always the GTO livery. But the Honey Monster getting stuck in there, and he's got a swarm of cars behind him.
I love it there how there's the RVs that have been scanned by the iRacing software developers, as we see the leading battle, or the remaining battle for second position between Trengrade, Cortinemi and Olenek here. I think, notice there was one of the RVs that even the RV had a tramp stamp applied to it.
Yeah, that's the thing about iRacing. They get the details, even with like grandstands and other stuff, pretty much spot on. So that's good to see. What's good to see as well is a battle going on for second place with these three guys, and McLaren's pretty much still maintaining that gap to around about 5.5 seconds.
So we look at Mick Claridge running the number 2 plate today, second seat behind Michel Durignon. He is just putting on a clinic. Now, I have a feeling, Ryan, as we know Mick, who comes in kind enough to come in and chat to us after every broadcast, I would think that he'll come in and he'll go, that wasn't very good, that was a bit rubbish, I won by 10 seconds. He's the master of modesty, is Mick.
Yeah, absolutely. That's he's one of the Rob Olenek and Topi Cortinemi to just about make contact and get really close, and it looks like Topi's trying to make a move, sorry.
Yeah, and it looks like looks like Obi Trengrade has been able to escape. He has, yeah. So Olenek has struggled to get past Cortinemi. Cortinemi's about to retaliate. He shows the wheel on the inside, just about got it. They go side by side through the Fangio chicane, and Cortinemi still defends. Great defence from the Finn, great retaliation. And in the beautiful burgundy red wine coloured machine, whoa! No, I think. Oh no! Was there a bit of a bump there? Oh dear! Oh my word! Okay, we're gonna get Dougie Beard's helicopter out of the hangar and have a look at what happened here, because I suspect there was maybe a tiny bit of contact, ever so slight. In fact, I think we might have had our first Grand Prix Legends COVID test of the day, Ryan.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think Rob Allnett, I'm not sure if it's just me, but it looks like Rob Allnett was trying to slow down and give the position back, but it looks like further back in 6th place, we've got the battle still going on between these two of Michael Cook and Michel Denayon. And credit to Michael, he's doing a good defensive job keeping Michel behind, because Michel's not an easy person to keep behind, but as I say that, it looks like Michel's going for the move heading down to turn 17.
Yeah, just a tiny little mistake there on the straight. Oddly, Michael just dipping a wheel onto the grass, and that just took a slither of momentum away, and that allowed Michel to complete his run and move through to 6th position. So next up will be Antonio Rees. We're doing a great run for Antonio, running in 5th right now. So, goodness me, we're back at the P14 melee again. We've got Emmanuel Pereira and Snelson, who's just gone, now who is that exited stage right? Oh my word, that was John sounds like Laust Olsen.
No, John Olsen.
John Olsen, my apologies, has hit big issues. Ryan, what do you see here?
Yeah, just about to look at the replay now, and it looks like John Olsen, I think he either just bounced or he just clipped that inside wall, and basically bounced him in onto the outside wall as well. As just watching the onboard as well, head down to turn 17, and it looks fine here, and it looks like he just lost the rear.
Well, it looked like the car in front just checked up slightly, and that just got him into a bit of a tank slapper, and these cars, they don't like that. Now, the only bit of comfort there, Ryan, is that he didn't scratch the Global Sim Racing Channel stickers that were on the car. That's the most important part.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Is yeah, I think I would have took that out of his sponsorship money, but this battle going on between Robin Papslewski and Gary Teal, and good to see Robin out on track today as well, and one of the drivers on his day can be one of the quickest, and we've seen him in the Camel GT series as well, as it looks like looking at the battle with Laust Olsen as well, and Jim McGill behind him.
Yeah, this is firing up nicely, this battle here, with Laust Olsen there with the blue helmet leading Jim. Now we've lost Terry Worth was in there, but he's actually pressed on ahead of this group. Now Terry's quite easy to spot. He's in the proper classic team Lotus colours as well, which is always nice to see. There he is, just behind the flying fruit pastel ice lolly of Emanuele Pereira. There he is. Now that is nostalgia overload there, Ryan, for of course Jim Clark, for me Scotland's greatest ever sportsman, let alone Scotland's greatest ever driver, and that is a proper Jim Clark replica there. Very nice. Yeah, absolutely, it's one of my favourites, and every time I look at it looks so cool. When good to see Terry having a good race as well, but he's got Colin Bentley for company behind him, and in front of him he's got who's that? Manuel Pereira as well. So as he gets a bit sideways on the exit of turn 1, and it looks like he's just lost the position. Yeah, looks like it. He has. Yeah, it started in 21st though, did Colin, and now up to 16th. So it's been good progress. There's been a few cars that have fallen by the wayside along the way, but you definitely just keeping the car clean and tidy is one of the biggest challenges. It's almost you against the track in a lot of cases, or you against the car maybe in this particular championship. And this is not a car that you can just hop in and lap straight away. It takes a lot of figuring out, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a bit of practice, but we're looking at the back up further to the front. It looks like the battle between Antonio Ruiz and Michel de Leon, by the looks of it, is going on at the moment. And Michael Cook's lost a couple of positions in 7th, but still having a good race.
Indeed. As we see, Durignon, you can see just the steering inputs he's got to put in there. But what was brilliant to watch there, Ryan, is Michel not rushing it, not snapping at the wheel, just nice and little, just calming it, just caressing it. That's a man that appears to know this car particularly well. Now lapping quite a bit quicker, 1.2 seconds quicker than Antonio Ruiz last time around, so I wonder if Antonio will fight this too hard. Michel gets a good run out of turn 1. Will he have a look? No, thanks better of it. Ruiz makes a mistake, and that allows Durignon through.
Yep, and it looks like, I was just about to say, it looks like Durignon was popping out trying to sell Antonio Ruiz a dummy, and he's just done that because Antonio Ruiz went right and allowed Durignon through to pick up a position. So Michel de Leon selling the French dummy.
That's it. I wouldn't even want to look that up in the Urban Dictionary.
Oh my.
Dearie me, back to P16, and mercifully we have a battle going on here between, now I think this is Colin Bentley and Laust Olsen, is running what looks like a Whelen modified here, with the you can see the radiator at the front of the car completely exposed, but doesn't seem to be dampening his spirits too much.
Yeah, absolutely not. And is it? Ooh!
Oh dear. Look inside. Let's going to have a look here and see what happened to Robert Plumley. Oh, massive lunge. Oh, T-bone stake.
As Robert Plumley would say on his Twitch stream, what a muppet.
Yes, that would qualify. That would qualify, indeed. Yeah, they came from downtown there and, landed plumb in the middle of the corner there. Oh dear. So we look at Andre Schumacher now, who is, as I say, he's been the cat with 9 lives, as he's avoided a number of incidents, and that's placed him in 8th position, and he's going to, at the moment, 4 places ahead of his F2 Championship rival Chris Hengler. Speaking of other nostalgic Scottish liveries, this particular paint scheme on Andre Schumacher's car, a lovely replica of the Matra Tyrrell, which Jackie Stewart rode to his first of 3 World Championships.
Remember that car very well, and it's one of my favourite liveries when it comes to retro liveries, and it looks cool but simple, but Andre Schumacher, he's just doing what he needs to do to stay in contention for the F2 Championship, and he's in front of Chris Hengler on the track, but he's just in front of Xavier Sanchez, who looks like he's trying to make a move but decides not to make a lunge.
No, not quite, and this is what Andre Schumacher has to be just super careful here. 5 laps to go, he's in a strong position, and these points would set him up nicely for the showdown, final round of the Grand Prix Legends Championship next week here on the Global Sim Racing channel, 8:30 AM Eastern. And who's going to take this? We know the F1 Championship is closed up, with Mick Clara, who's looking to claim that today probably, but the F2 Championship is going to rumble on.
Yep, absolutely, and Andre Schumacher's feeling the pressure a lot more now as he gets sideways and he makes a mistake. Oh, he just holds it. Oh, holy moly.
Holy moly indeed, and just hung on to it just. We're going to get a look on board, and you can see here the type of work that Andre Schumacher has to do to keep this car on the straight and narrow. We're heading up through the Flying Fortress Straight. Oh wow, massive oversteer there. Manages to hang on to it. He's ahead of the car, and brilliant save from Andre Schumacher, and well, that could be a championship save.
I'm still gobsmacked that you managed to save that.
You spilt your scotch?
Not yet. I might have choked on it slightly.
Good news.
Yeah, both of these guys go by the back marker, and I think Andre's starting to feel the pressure from Sanchez now, because it looks like every time Sanchez gets a run, he pulls his nose out and just shows that he's there, and Andrew Schumacher just being a little bit distracted.
Yeah, a little bit, and whoa, that, goodness me, and same goes for Javier Sanchez there. Just lifts off the brake, the car goes, no, not ready yet, and just throws the rear end around. Wow, and Schumacher going to try and break the draft there a little bit with a bit of weaving on the straight, but goodness me, well, if these guys aren't awake already, they certainly will be now.
Yeah, but absolutely, as Sanchez again gets a little bit sideways, and closing these guys down as well is Robin Paslowski, and Paslowski is dragging along Gary Teal.
So Mick Claridge on the Ullman straight, and when he comes over the stripe, it will be 3 laps to go here at Sebring, and this has been yet another absolutely imperious drive, and it's almost as if, Ryan, that Mick's got more and more dominant as the season's carried on.
Yeah, that's the thing as well with Mick. Like I've said before, he's pretty much a maestro in this car, and he's just pretty much pulled away from the rest of the pack while they've been squabbling amongst themselves. And that's the thing with Mick as well. Every time he gets in the zone, he just pulls away, and once he gets in the zone, he's just pretty much in a class of his own. And at the moment, he's in a class of his own here today, and he's pretty much he's got the championship wrapped up already by the looks of it, but he's still wanting to round out the season in style.
Yep, and he's certainly achieving that style indeed. As we go back to André Schumacher, our F2 championship contender, and Xavier Sanchez has recovered from that little incident there. Has a little look up the inside at turn 1. That might just compromise his exit a little bit. It does. Schumacher able to defend for now, but goodness me, the number 23 of André Schumacher, he is really under the cosh here.
He is, and I think don't be surprised if you see a move by Sanchez into the hairpin, as he's got a great run, and Schumacher will Andrew try and go defensive. He's going defensive by the looks of it, and actually goes to the racing line. Sanchez goes to the inside. Can he get the move done? And he can.
No, but can Schumacher pull it down to the apex? He can. Well done. Does really late on the brakes and holds position now. Good news is for Schumacher is that Chris Hengler has dropped 2 positions. He's back to 14th place now. So the gap has widened, and that is critical for the F2 championship points. And it looks like these guys are going to go absolutely neck and neck into the final round of the championship. And while we look at that, Chris Hengler trying to reclaim position on Emmanuel Pereira, who is ahead in 13th spot.
Yeah, at the moment as Hengler closes right up under braking, and that was so close to ending up in contact, but Chris Hengler is just he's not doing anything too hasty. He's just having a safe race, just aiming to finish and pick up points, just to try and stay in contention for the F2 championship, which will go right down to the wire next Saturday. But Chris Hengler, he's not always finished ahead of Andre, but anytime Andre's had issues, he's always been there to pick up pieces and benefit from it. But at the moment, he needs to try and get ahead of Pereira to try and take some more points. As he tries to make a move onto the Ullman straight, just about ends up in contact.
That was a close one for sure. Right on board with Chris Hengler, and he's in the draft of Emmanuel Pereira, and it looks like Pereira has got a little bit rattled a little bit and gives plenty room and kind of allows and that's, I thought he was actually going to allow Hengler through there, but they make contact. Hengler's had it looks like they've oh dear, okay. So it's all happening at both ends of the grid. Hengler makes contact with Pereira. Let's get a replay then. Let's have a look. So, looked like Pereira just saw that Hengler was going to make a move. Broke early, allowed Hengler to go through, and then, big oversteer moment there from Hengler, and that allowed Pereira to get the run back again.
Yeah, while we're looking at that, the battle for 8th place between André Schumacher and Xavier Sanchez, and is this turned into a 3-car battle because Gary Teal is joined in the mix?
Yep, Gary Teal there. Gary Teal nursing a very damaged car. As you can see, he is minus a nose cone. Won't be having any problem with cooling in these warm Florida temperatures, but certainly not the prettiest looking car as it used to be. And actually, in fact, with 77 degrees track temperature, that's absolutely perfect for these cars.
It is, and it looks like I was watching Andre Schumacher as well, and it looks like he was parking it on the apex slightly, just to try and stop Xavier Sanchez's getting a run. And there's nothing in the rules saying that you can't do that. It just slows up your opponent behind, just to stop them getting a run. And it looks like Sanchez has got a slow down.
He has, yeah. You could just see him dipping the brake there, yeah. So he's just stepped over track limits, and the iRacing automatic penalty system has instructed him to slow down for a couple of seconds to serve that penalty, and that has dropped him off the back of Andrew Schumacher and allowed Gary Teal to go through. Now, just as we say that, all of a sudden we have Mick Claridge on to his final lap, and well, Ryan, this win will two things. It will continue his 100% record here in the Grand Prix Legends Series, but also it will confirm him as this season's champion.
Yeah, and Mick Claridge, I thought he was going to, Sebring being the nature of the track it is, I thought he would have had a harder time, but it looks like something's happened with Rob Allnick and Topi Kortinen, and it looks like these two are getting really close on the last lap.
Yeah, well, we've seen now, of course, Topi lost the position to Rob Allnick and then struck back again. And speaking of striking back, that could have been a close one. They have made little bits of contact so far. Ovi Tringrade has cleared up the road, and Tringrade actually for the last third of the race has really been matching Mick Claridge's pace, but Kortinen and Allnick, just absolutely going for broke here. But here we are on to Sunset Bend for the final time. Mick Claridge is a Grand Prix legend here at Sebring. He is your 2021 Season 1 champion, and does so in style. Plows it into the wall. Tringrade will come home second, but let's have a look. Ryan, let's see Allnick and Kortinen home.
Yeah, it looks like Topi's going to take the final podium position as he come across the line now, and Allnick's going to finish in fourth. And great battle between those guys.
Now that I've never seen before. That is neither sticking the landing nor missing it. Goodness me, Mick Claridge has got all the tricks there as well. Now let's look at Andrew Schumacher. Can he keep Gary Teal at bay? Is Teal going to make the move? Oh, this is going to be so close. It looks like Schumacher's going to take it. So Andrew Schumacher holds on for 8th position, and that could be absolutely critical for the outcome of this championship. And look at Chris Hengler now, Ryan.
Yeah, Chris Hengler's up the inside of Colin Bentley, and it looks like can he get the position? It looks like he's going to get the position. Bentley's trying to get the switch back to get the run, but it looks like Hengler's going to take that position and finish in P14 as he come up to the line now, and it's going to be a drag race, but Hengler just takes it from Bentley,
Wow, what a finish to this motor race here at Sebring International Raceway. We are going to take a very short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel, where we will be back shortly with official results and hopefully interview with our new champion, Mick Claridge. Welcome back to Sebring International Raceway, where we have just seen a new Grand Prix legend crowned once again here in 2021. Mick Claridge, continuing a 100% win record, wins again here at Sebring to confirm himself as the champion. Ovi Trengrade was second in this race, really matching Mick's pace up until the end of the race, with Topi Kortenemi finishing third, putting on a brilliant defence to keep Rob Olenek at bay. Michel Dudignon recovered to fifth after an earlier mistake, followed by Antonio Rees, Michael Cook, Andre Schumacher winning in F2 and putting himself in a great position for the final round. Gary Thiel was ninth, and finally Roman Pawlowski made his way up to 10th from deep in the pack.
Chris Maricami finished in 11th with Xavier Sanchez in 12th. Chris Hendler, one of the F2 Championship contenders, finished in 13th with Colin Bentley in 14th after starting 21st. Bruce Nelson 15th, Terry Worth 16th, 17th Emmanuel Pereira with the Honey Monster Jim McGill in 18th, Dave Cohen in 19th, and rounding out the 20 was Robert Plumley.
Now, Rhino, if you can take the rest of our finishing order, I've just lost it on my feed here, I'm afraid.
No problem. As Andre M finished in 21st with 22nd going to Eugenio Massa, Roland Wallbank in 23rd, Peter Vagkowski in 24th, Gary Anderson 25th, Yanni Lehman in 26th, Randy Hoff in 27th, Vlad Solson 28th, and pretty much the rest of the field were retired. In 29th was Cesare Piccolo, 30th was John Olsen, Michael Gringizer 31st, 32nd Robert Reynolds, 33rd Jeff Mortimer, Bill Tyler in 34th, Max Riley in 35th, Hideki Koivisto 36th, Matthew Maudsley 37th, Yuri Geis in 38th, and rounding out the retirements was Steve O'Malley in 39th.
So we have our new champion, Mick Claridge, joining us in the commentary box, and he is with Ryan Walker.
Yeah, Mick Claridge pretty much started the pole and pretty much took a lights to fire victory, if you like. And Mick, that looked like pretty much a Sunday drive for you.
Did I just win the championship?
Judging by our quick calculations, it looks like you are indeed the champion with one round remaining.
I don't know if your maths is right, mate. I'm not going to trust you. I'll wait for Raphael to put it up in the forums. Another annoying race, really, wasn't it? Uwe had some sort of camera problem on lap one and was in front and held everyone up pretty much, I think. I don't know what the gap was by the time we finished lap 1, 2 or 3 seconds or something stupid like that. And then I saw Michelle in second place, and I thought, well, I better just keep an eye on that. I actually thought everyone had messed up on tyre pressures. That's what I thought went wrong, because the weather was, for me, right in between two different tyre settings. So I just went on the high settings, and I knew if I'd got them wrong, they would be quick at the start. So I sort of fell into that sort of notion. I thought that was going on. But, yeah, it's a shame for Uwe there having to mess up with his cameras or something. So, yeah, I can only imagine what that was like. It's bad enough trying to drive around here anyway,
And with Sebring as well, what did you think of it? Would you like to see this layout being used for the series in the future seasons, or is it one of those that you'd prefer to give a miss?
No, I like it because it's sort of unique. There's a lot of bumps here, as you know, which you probably mentioned in the race. So it means you have to mess around with setup quite a lot. So found something in the setup this morning really that sort of gave me a bit more confidence. So yeah, no, I love the place. I think it's brilliant. It suits the car. It looks, the car and the tracks look right, together when it's an old historic track like that.
Yeah, we saw a few people struggling with Sebring as well, especially the final corner. Some people running wide and just carrying too much speed. What's the best corners in Sebring that suit this car, or do you find that they find the challenge with this car?
Oh, the last corner suits any car. I love the last corner. It's one of the best corners in the world, and the first corner. Two of my probably my favourite corners that I can drive on iRacing. They're up there. They're up there with Eau Rouge and all the rest of it. At Spa. So yeah, no, last turn and that's when the track gets really bumpy as well. So and it's really easy to mess up. especially in turn one. You really have to watch that exit in turn one because you're going so fast there, and all that, that cone sticking out the fence. That's a great little help to judge your exit, which you can't really see when you're going around turn one. Well, I can't anyway. I'm looking at the track more than anything. But yeah, no, last turn and turn one, they're brilliant.
And then looking ahead to Road America, with as it stands at the moment, I think with you having the championship sealed with one round to go, any aims for Road America, or just basically try and do the same again and round out the season in style?
Oh, mate, I want to try and win it. I've never won every race that I've ran, ever. It's the best season I've ever had by miles. So, yeah, I'm really want to win the last race. I'll be absolutely gutted if I don't win that. It sounds weird, doesn't it?
No. I mean, if I was in your position, I would love to do the same thing and just kind of stamp out the season and just round out in style. But
I hope, to be honest with you, I hope we have a good fight up front. That would mean more than an easy win like this, like today. Stupid races like this, and Watkins last week. It's so annoying, So yeah, no, I want a good fight. That would be good.
And then before we let you go, Mick, anyone that you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, my car. My real car. My real car. I'm not even going to tell you what it is yet. My real car passed the MOT. It was born in 2001. It's 20 years old, Ryan. It's a 1 litre Nissan Micra, and it passed the MOT. It failed on brake pads. I did the brake pads yesterday. It passed, mate. I'm so happy. Thank you, Nissan Micra. And never mess with the Mackenzie boys. Let me just say one thing. I don't know if everyone knows the Mackenzie boys line. There's actually 3 Mackenzie boys. You got Steve, Jamie, and Tony, who lives in Canada. He watched the race last week, so there's 3 Mackenzie boys now. So seriously, do not mess. Say it with me, Ryan. Don't mess with.
Don't mess with the Mackenzie boys. Yes, there we go.
See you later.
Let's see, Mick. As up next, we've got Finland's Topi Kortaniemi, who finished in 3rd place, and Peter Mackay, he is with you.
Indeed. Topi, welcome to the GSRC commentary box. That was quite a race there, and looked like you put on a fantastic defence. Tell us about it.
You mean it on the last lap with Rob, or in the start of the race?
Lots of times. You look to be the man with the brilliant defensive skills. Just tell us about your race.
Oh yeah, the first lap, I just saw Uwe in front of me, and he was all over the place. I don't know, did he have something wrong with him? And after the race, it turns out he had some problems with his VR set, and he ended up quite fast in the end of the race, much faster than me. And the 3 wide situation at the sunset on the first lap was quite hairy. I wasn't sure if we were to survive that.
Well, you got through in the end, Topi. I mean, right here at Sebring, it's such a challenging circuit, known more for sports car racing. But how did you find it this week, running it in the Lotus 49?
I did have a lot softer setup and tried something new with the dampers and stuff, and I think it turned quite well. But it's still very unpredictable when the car's going to spin out there. So I lost confidence somewhere in the race for the sunset bend. It's very tricky to get the trail braking right there, and you gotta have to know what you're doing and not go half measures braking there. I went wide too many times.
It is a horrible corner, isn't it? It's so tricky. Topi, we're heading into the final round of the season at Road America. Goals for that round?
I don't know. I think I'm third in the championship, whatever happens. So I can go for the win or just for fun. I don't know. We'll see.
I feel it's going to be like the last day of school when everyone goes a little bit crazy, but we're looking forward to calling it. Topi, before we let you go, who would you like to say hello to here on the Global Sim Racing channel?
You guys, of course. You have excellent broadcasts every week.
That's very kind. Thank you very much. Indeed. So that was Topi Cortinemi. And finally, we have Chris Hengler, who is with Ryan Walker.
Yeah, one of the F2 Championship contenders, finishing in 13th. And Chris, it looked like you were pretty much in a battle any time I watched, but you kept your nose clean. You made it to the end of the race, picked up the points, and doing what you need to do to stay in contention for that F2 Championship heading into Road America. How was that race for you?
It was super intense. I think there was the big smash at the end of lap 1. I managed to keep my nose out of it, but I kind of guessed the wrong way, which direction to go around, and I ended up having to come to almost a complete stop on the pit straight. So I'm not sure how many places I lost there, but it was a lot. So yeah, it was a super intense race then, trying to fight my way back through the pack.
Yeah, we saw that pile up at the start of the race as well, and I was amazed that some people managed to make it through, but like I say, you kept out of trouble and managed to get through. And what did you think of Sebring? Is it a track that you would love to see on the schedule again for next season or in the future?
Well, I've got to be honest, it's not one of my favourite circuits. I've never quite gotten along with it too well on any car that I've used it with, although I must say I've enjoyed it more this week than I was expecting to at the beginning of the week.
And looking ahead to Road America next week, like I mentioned, you're still in the a chance of the F2 Championship, but what do you think you need to do to finish ahead of Andre? Do you think you can maybe beat him on pace, or is it just going to be a case of just turn up to see how you get on and hopefully finish in front of him, or just basically just do your thing and hopefully just see how it goes?
Yeah, it's going to be really tough. So I'm not sure what the championship looks like now after that result, but I can't imagine there's more than a handful of points in it between us. Road America is a circuit that I really like, so I think, if I'm going to beat him on pace anywhere, then that's probably not a bad place for me. But I mean, Andre is super quick, so yeah, I mean, it's certainly not going to be easy.
And before we
a real battle, though. Looking forward to it, whichever way it goes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well, and it's been a big good battle between you guys. And before we let you go, Chris, anyone that you want to give a shout out to?
Not really anyone too specifically. I mean, the whole 39 community is really great, and of course, you guys for putting on the broadcast. I always go back and watch it after the race each week, and yeah, you do a great job. So thanks for that.
Thank you for the kind words as well, Chris. As that was Chris Hengler, P13 finisher, joining us, and I have to say, Peter, that race was absolutely fantastic to watch.
It certainly was indeed, and looking forward to the season finale at Road America in a week's time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, here on the Global Sim Racing channel, and myself and Ryan Walker will be delighted to have your company for that race. That's all we have time for here on the Global Sim Racing channel. A huge thank you goes to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcasts, and you can see those companies listed here on your screen. An additional thank you goes to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. Have a look also on the screen of how to get a hold of her great work. A big thank you goes to Ryan, Sean and Dougie for their work on today's broadcast. And if you'd like to find out more about us here at the Global Sim Racing channel, check out our website, globalsimracingchannel.com, or our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. You can even represent us at the track with some GSRC merchandise, and you can find the full range at gsrc.storeenvy.com. Don't forget to head over to our YouTube page and hit the big red subscribe button, and you'll never miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing channel. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.